Well, hello there, everyone. Today we're going to spend some time in the redwoods, fixing up part of this area here. It's kind of caught in the crossfire of a couple of places I was working on at the same time, so it became a little too cluttered in this area. And we're going to clean it up a bit, make it look nicer. Mostly smaller detail work, but some bigger things too. Hello there. What's up? Part of what we're going to do is this mountain here. I still want a lot of rocks on it, but they're a little bit too many in some spots. So we're going to cut down on those. Probably change the ground material on part of it. But we'll keep the path here. But it also just became a little bit too uneven in some spots where it'd be kind of difficult to walk here. So we're going to clean that up a bit. I'm glad to hear it. We just compiled a new build of it today, so we're definitely not far from having it ready to play. It's actually what I was doing just a little bit before the stream. I want to clean up some of these that I didn't really want right here. Actually, to make sure they don't have collisions, because I don't really want that. Hello there! Yes, you'll definitely find me on there. And I'm excited to play it with everybody. I just have to get myself out of the mindset of working on it while I play it, because I know I'm going to walk around and I'm going to be like, oh my god, this needs to be fixed. And it's the tiniest thing that nobody will notice. But that's what I do. Hello there! So I think first what we'll do, it's going to erase the path when I do this, but that's fine. We're going to change this to the mossy material that I have for the redwoods. But first, I guess I'll smooth it out because it's a little bit rough right here. But as you see, it's a little cluttered in this spot. It was kind of in the middle of a few spots I was experimenting on, so it happens. Yes, it's hard to just play it and not be like looking at the tiniest little things and obsessing over it. I can't help it. Yes, I agree. Admittedly, I've always been big on good graphics, but I mean, of course, that's not even remotely as important as gameplay. But since my job here is to make the map, I can spend plenty of time making it look good and run good at the same time. It's Firest, you're right. But really though, if my job is just to make the place cool and interesting, then I should probably make it look good. It's just that at the same time, I'm huge on optimization, so I kind of sit in the middle there between graphical features and optimization. It may not look that way, but a lot of this really high detail stuff that you see is actually what's optimal for nanite. I want to bring this down a little bit. Absolutely. Virus, you mean? I also need to... I mean, technically these are set to the right height, but they'll pop up above the ground on the slightest slope. So I need to set them to spawn further down. Since I see this all the time, and it's something I need to fix. I've also really wanted to have, like, when I look at pictures of the redwoods in real life, I see, like, leaning trees going over the path and stuff. I'm definitely going to add some of those today because I've thought about it for a while and never gotten around to it. So, oh yes, I agree. Especially if you're going to use features like Nanite Lumen, you shouldn't be not spending time to make it look good. If you're already going to pay the cost, may as well. And that is a good question. I would have to ask our programmers or Islander about that. But I think it's, on the graphical topic, I think it's something a lot of people struggle with when they start using Nanite and they're not used to it. That your instinct is to use lower detail things to perform better, but in the case of Nanite, that is not what works best. So it caters to someone like me who wants to make it look really good. Like the foliage, for example, that's been a big one that a lot of people struggled with. Using full geometry instead of opacity masks. It sounds insane as a developer because you're talking about, 5 or 10 million triangles versus 5,000. And to a lot of people that sounds insane, but it does work very well. And I'm not sure about what it'll be able to grab, but I would have to ask the programmers or Islander about that. I'm the map guy, so all my attention is on the map and performance for the map. But it's a good question. This will take just a moment to save. The landscape is quite dense, so it has to rebuild it when I sculpt it. So let's get that floating patch of roots there, because that's going to bother me eternally if I don't. Okay, so I need to smooth this out a little bit more because it's a little bit intense on this path. Originally it was smoother, but I believe this happened when I went over a part of the mountain with erosion. That's not what I wanted. think I'm about to make this the mossy redwood material I have, because I use the one that you see here in most areas in the redwoods, and the mossy material is more like a thing I use in clearings, stuff like that. So I want to find a few more places to use it. Okay, that should be smooth enough. I guess that's... I'll drop that down a little bit. Oh, what landscaping tools? Is it... suddenly forget the name. Errant Landscape? If so, I love that. Also, our first compiled build in the NVRTX branch of Unreal was the one I did today, so that's going to be great for performance. It's a custom branch of Unreal that has some extra features and optimizations compared to the vanilla one. It's the one I've always been using in the streams, like I am right now, but I haven't been able to get a build compiled in it until today. Okay, now we can repaint a bit. Just need to save that first. It also means we'll be able to add Restart GI to the game, probably after the tech demo, because I don't want to cause any additional bugs before it. But Restart GI is real-time path tracing, like what you'll find in Cyberpunk. They're actually using Restart GI for their path tracing mode. Obviously not an option everyone will want to run, so it will of course be optional. But I am curious about those landscape tools, because I might want to try them too if it's one I haven't tried. I think it's Redwood's Grass. Yes, this is the one. So this is like a mossy material that I usually just save for clearings, but I wanted this to stand out a little bit more. Be a little different from the rest of the forest. I like it though. I actually might not need to erase the path here either. I was thinking I would have to. It looks like I went over part of it, but whatever. Easy to fix. I think I will replace this grass though, because it's not quite what I'm looking for. I actually made some just recently that I still need to add to the game to replace some of the grass I'm not a huge fan of. but a little green here and there I think will do wonders here. But how's everyone been? Hopefully, relaxing day. It's been a busy one for me, but that's not a bad thing. Look at that. This just looks so nice and inviting. Can I go here? I guess I spend enough time here to live in this area. It seems reasonable to me. I do think the grass sticking up out of the rocks looks a little weird, so I think I'm going to take that away, even though you won't be able to see it from far away. I haven't dialed in how far I want grass and small plants drawing yet, so you never know. You might be able to see it later on, and I don't want that. I think I'm going to leave this the same for the most part. Okay, so we'll just add path back to where it was. I think this is the dirt path. No, it's not. I keep losing it now because I renamed it recently. There it is. You know, I thought that was it, but I don't think it is. That's dirt path, and then we have another dirt path. Oh, there it is. This is a tiny thing, but it's something I really wanted. And I got it working. Some nice blending at the edge of the path where it doesn't just directly change over to the other material, but it blends into it a little bit. Kind of starts bleeding into that other material. I love how it looks. Just recently got it dialed in where I want. And we won't spend too long on this mountain because I don't want to spin the whole stream in the same spot, but you know, gotta clean it up. Okay, and I will remove a few of these rocks too. I mean, I do want a bunch of them here, but some of them are kind of in the way a little bit. Mainly I want to remove the ones that are sticking into the path or close to it, because that's just annoying. Now that particular rock right there, that's a vibe, so we'll keep it. I think we will remove some of these. Like, we can make this a nice little path down to this tree. Let's do that. Just gotta smooth that out a bit. Paint this down this way. I'll just kind of let it stop right there. I don't want it to be perfectly even or anything, but just nice enough to walk on. I feel like putting something here, but I can't decide what. But I do want to get rid of those rocks. The smaller ones. And of course the floating roots right there, completely normal and natural. Hello there. Good to see you. That needs a little more smoothing right there. Yeah. There's a beauty. How are you today, Mr. A Nice Man? I just realized I forgot to announce the stream, so I'm going to do that. Boom. Just like that. Totally remembered. I do want to put something down here, though. Just not sure what. I think for now we'll just put some mossy roots and I'll think on it. Nice. I probably need to start doing that. I used to go to the gym, and then I started school and just kind of stopped. Well, I ran out of time when I started school, and now I have more time, so I need to start going back, but I haven't. Probably use a couple of these. Let me just drop down, just to save a little disk space. Drop down the triangle count on this. It looks a little dark too. I think... Ah, that's why. A lot of megaskins are designed with subsurface in mind, so to make it look nice I still need to mimic it, even though they're on different material now. Drop this down too. But even something like this that's 600,000 triangles, it's only 6 megabytes when it's compressed. Definitely a lovely feature about nanite. Perfect. So I think we'll use a few of these down here until I think of something else to put here. Just to make the ground look a little nicer. I think there were... oh yeah, this one. I just don't really want to leave it empty right here. So I'm thinking it makes sense for the roots to go about that way. Nice. This can go kind of over here. Just have to make them blend in with the ground a little bit. Most of what I'm going to do today is smaller details like this. But it adds so much to the environment when you do this. Hello there. I just wanted that nice mossy ground look. I also really like how these ferns turned out in this area. There we go. Just have to make sure it doesn't stick up out of the ground. Well, more than we want, at least. It's just not efficient to use only one of each kind, so I'll repeat it around in a few spots, hopefully without it being too obvious. Oh yes, there are lots of plants. Even right now there's quite a few, and some of these actually are mid-sized, but it's hard to tell because the scale is just really thrown off when you look at it through the editor. So like this, for example, is kind of mid-sized, but I am going to replace that because that's the giant sequoia seedling that came with the Maui redwood pack, and it's just not what I want, so. But we do have a couple kinds of mid-sized plants at the moment in this area. Oh. Oh yes. I would love to add some carnivorous plants. I think the hard part about those is obtaining materials to make them. Or at least make them with the same visual quality as everything else. Because I could just use like some public domain photos of them or something, but it wouldn't really look that good compared to everything else. So if I can just locate some, or even if I can find some in real life, I'll just go photo scan them. Going a little heavy on the roots here. I love it. There we go. Just wanted a unique spot on the ground. Whoops. I fully agree. I think I'll show you in a second though. I think you'll be surprised at just how many we do have. We have hundreds of different kinds of plants. So now we're going to put an impact level actor just to reduce draw calls and make it easier to manage too. It also means we can copy and paste it. Certainly don't need tick. You know, really, we don't even need shadows for these, but I guess I'll leave them. But here we go. So if I pull up the plants we have here, some of them are going to be here. Some I have in a procedural volume. But we have 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. We have 6 smaller plants that are manually painted here. And then Trying to remember which one I'm using here. I'm using a couple, I think, but here we have 28 other plants just for the redwoods. I think we're using this one as well. That's another 28. Another 28 there. I think this is the last one. And another 28 there. So yeah, we have quite a few in the redwoods. It just depends on which ground material, for example, is here. That'll spawn different plants. And I'm also going to change some of them, because some are more placeholders right now. I think that came out pretty nice. So we're going to move down here and clear out some of the spots that are too dense. That doesn't look good. I think I'm going to change that. I think that's one of the saplings. Yes. Why is it so dark? There we go. That was why. So I know some of the problem here is going to be rocks. So we're going to get some of those out of this area. There's the rock patches too. So I'll follow along the path first, and then we need to add more paths as well. Yes, here we are. The rocks are way too dense in this spot, right up ahead. So I think we'll remove some of these. And I do want them dense up here, but I need to come back at some point and make a path through it to lead up this part of the mountain. So we might do that in just a moment. I don't really like when they pile around the base of a tree either. No tree is going to grow, well, at least not one of these trees is going to grow in the middle of some rocks. Yeah, a lot of that feeling is because our scale is thrown off looking in the editor. When you're actually down at the correct height, it's about like this. But that being said, I am going to put some bigger plants here too. The main problem back then was that it looked really nice, but it wasn't very good to actually walk around in. So I had to change it a little bit. So now I'm just kind of experimenting with what feels good to walk around in. because I also loved how it looked with the really big ferns, but definitely had to tone it down a little. But maybe we'll add some bigger ferns in here too. Because when you look at pictures of any giant sequoia forest like this, you'll see a bunch of ferns and stuff like that. That's mainly in coast redwood forests, but it's our own world here, so we can bend the rules. Lost the path for a moment. Oh, look at that. A skull. I think we will bump up the amount of plants, though. That's another thing I was thinking about doing on the stream today, because it's something I've wanted to do. Because you're right, it is a little bit too flat now. Yeah, that was the main problem back then, that with them being large and as dense as they were, it made it hard to walk around in. Very easy to get lost. So as long as I can avoid that. You want to drop some of the rocks out of this area too. Like that. That tree was literally growing inside a rock. And we've got this boy halfway floating. Definitely have some tweaks to make to these. Whoops. It's going to clear out a few more rocks. There's one of the paths, though, that leads up the mountain. So I think we'll go ahead and add one more. And mess around with the plant density a little bit. I think somewhere over here would be good for a path. I'll just kind of clear. Get the plants out of here too. Kind of clear a path here. Sufficiently loopy. A scientific word, trust me. Yeah, I like how the clearings are coming out. I just started doing them recently because it's something I've planned on, but I usually like to get a basic layout for a biome before I add a bunch of clearings and stuff. But yes, now I'm actually starting to add more. Oh, whoops. That was pun intended. Might even put a little campsite up here. I think I'll have it go right here. Excellent. I didn't even check first to make sure I was going the right direction. I was just going off memory, and it worked. This is where I wanted the path to go. This probably isn't good to reinforce my bad habits. Okay, so we're going to have a path leading down through there. If you hear my dogs, I apologize. They get excited anytime somebody's outside the door. I actually have another real-life giant sequoia on the way to my house right now, so it might be that. And yes, I did need more. There are never enough giant sequoias. Now I'm lost. Where did I put the path? I was following it, but now I don't see where I cleared it. So I've decided this will be the new path. I think. Oh, I think here was where I cleared it. I see. Just need to clear it out a bit more in that spot. That grass, not a huge fan of it being right there, so I'm going to remove that because it's going to be hard to find the path. I think I got most of the rocks. I'm just going to make sure. I still need to smooth out the ground here though, so I'm sure that's going to shift where some of them are. That should work. Looks like it's a little too rough in some of these spots. But mainly I need to smooth this out a little bit, because that's not extremely walkable right now. That looks pretty decent though. And we definitely don't want parts of a cliff in the middle of our path. Hello there. Thanks for joining. Yeah, I knew that was going to cause one of the rocks to move and get right in the way. That's it. We're powerless to stop it. We can create an entire world but can't move the rock. Yeah, I just randomly found it not too long ago and I love it. Took so long to find one that I would like. But as soon as I saw it, I knew this is the one. Wanted to even that out a little bit. I saw it was slanted, which is okay to a point, but it gets annoying to walk if it's too slanted in one direction. Kind of like this. Bring it down. Agreed. It looks like it feels soft. Like really fine grain dirt. Just look at it. Oh, maybe not there. I love it. I do need to hide the tiling on it a little bit, but otherwise I like it. I want to get rid of some of these rocks though, because it's also a little bit too dense up here. Now rebuilding 8.9 million triangles of landscape. I know. I really do want to walk on this. I'm glad you think so. I also think that transparency is really important, especially for an indie team like us, where there's not a ton of people out there who know who we are or anything, so I figure this is a good way to show what we're doing and show the flaws, not try to hide them. We do have more people. There, I actually don't know exactly how many. I guess about 25, 26 of us. But we are all indie, and we all work together very closely on the goals for the project. I joined about a year ago. Just want to clear this out a little bit. Of course, when everybody plays the tech demo, I definitely want to hear what you think and things that you'd like to see change and all that. I can take some critique. I really don't even want these rocks here, except for a few. I'll come back and add the small plants, but I need to clear this out first before I can do that. Because that's just not a good look. I also don't know why these made it over here. I think it's because the oh yeah, that is what it is. I have the redwoods ground material over here, but it's snowing from the snow biome on this spot. Doesn't look amazing, so I'm gonna... Well, actually, looks like I just need to enable snow on that particular material. Let's do that then. Yes, yes. I recently started paying more attention to the snow biome because I've had to focus on the others so much. So you'll see a lot more variety there pretty soon. Did I not add? I didn't. This needs ultra dynamic sky support, so we're gonna add that. So right now I have it set to where everything interacts with our weather system, but it looks like I forgot to add that to this one. That's somewhere down here. Or so I thought. Where did it go? always lose this. I thought it was surface. Yeah, there it is. Surface weather effects. There we go. I really appreciate that. I'm glad so many people are interested too. There we go. Now we have snow. So some of the plants and such weren't getting covered with snow, and that will be solved now. Including the redwoods. Excellent. Much better. Okay, back to what we were doing. So for one, I saw the ground is a little bit too rough here. But yes, I really hope that everybody enjoys this as much as I enjoy working on it. Because I would love to continue updating this game for a long time. And that's the plan, to keep changing the map even after release. Having some things change with the lore and events, things like that. It's going to be a lot of fun. Because I could just sit here and work on the map all day, every day, and currently that is what I do. And now we can get some more of those rocks out of here. But I think we'll stop removing plants. Oh, whoops. I don't know about you, but I like to be able to walk around in the environment, not just looking at all the rocks. Should be decent for up here. Just want to make sure you can actually walk around. This though, that's a little too much. And also for anybody who's concerned when you're watching, the pop-in from the plants will also reduce. I'm finding a good middle ground where we're not drawing too many at once, where it's hitting your performance, but also not calling them so early that it's obvious. So right now I've not finished dialing that in, but that's going to be changing drastically. Performance is my #1 concern, so it's the way it is right now is just how I've had it for a little while, just so I can rule out any other issues with performance before bumping up certain things like that. That should be pretty good. I did forget to come back here though. I need to cover up this edge of the water. So we'll go ahead and do that. Yes, we should be testing out a new build in the next day or two. I did the build this morning, and all went well with compiling it, so just have to finish getting it put together. Then we'll have our QA team testing it. Probably do a build or two more. But we're definitely well on the way to getting the tech demo to everybody. Here we go. So I just want to cover up this rough edge right there. It'd be a lot faster than actually re-simulating the water. Maybe some of these. Let's see if we can make that look good. I hope so. That'd be pretty awesome to see. It still feels so weird to me to see everybody playing something that I've spent so much time in, and everybody else on the team too. I may like how these look, but they don't really cover up enough. Perhaps we'll use rocks. Let's see. Mainly because this blends in with the ground. So we'll just sculpt the ground here. It looked okay, but I wasn't a huge fan. This is going to look ridiculous at first. I think some of you have seen this enough times now where you know that. And the water right here is pretty low, so we don't need a perfect transition into it, but just something to cover up those edges. Yes. I've I've been going back to some of them recently and fixing up some spots that were a bit too steep or high. It's one of those things that in theory should be easy to make sure you don't do that every time, but somehow I always end up doing it. Here we go. I want to kind of smoothly bring this up if I can. Yeah, I do get it though, because it it's a common bug with, I don't even think it's just Unreal, it's just something that happens. Um, where foliage will disconnect from the landscape where it's technically not associated with it anymore. So then you'll find it floating. And there's no warning when it happens or anything. So you just have to kind of look around and make sure it's not happening. So I get it when I see it, but they should fix it if it's still there. Because it's not hard to fix. I'll be changing the landscape over time, so there will probably be things like that that change on my end. But the water doesn't naturally erode the landscape because of the way that I have the landscape made. For performance reasons, the landscape is basically a big tiled mesh in the game. So it doesn't react to the water necessarily, but I can change it over time. There are still some things, though, that can make the landscape look like it's reacting dynamically to things, so it's something that still could change. You can use things like tessellation and so on to make the landscape react. I want to put a log over this. But then again, there's one right down there. So we'll meet in the middle. a fallen tree kind of leaning over this. Just need to figure out which one I want. I don't know for sure if I downloaded it, but there was a log I wanted to use around here. I think this is it. Yeah, I've thought about that. They definitely wouldn't have fun swimming in that case. I would say that's a pretty accurate assessment. I haven't played the Isle, which I know is ridiculous because we're making a dinosaur game, but I have played plenty of other dinosaur games, like Ark, so I know what you're saying. However, I think I might be the only one on the team that hasn't played Ark. The Isle. Okay, so instead we're going to use one of these big logs. Of course, I'm going to make it a lot bigger to actually match the trees around it. So which one? That is the question. I think the first one. Exactly. Sometimes you just gotta get eaten. The fear may be valid. So I'm thinking if this fell, it'd probably be facing this way, because this would be the heaviest side. I might be overthinking this, but that's how I do things. But I want to have it leaning on something else I know for sure won't move somewhere. Because these trees could move. So still use that second log. And I'll have it kind of resting on it. It's actually kind of hard to see. think, yeah, that's what I thought. Sticking out of the ground. So I'll put that back where it was. Move this down. Excellent. So since these are clearly dead trees, I want some moss, things like that on it. I don't know if I have anything I can just stick on there that looks like moss, but let's see. I know I use this route constantly, but I love it. And I will not let anyone take away my love. Good I looked, though. Didn't realize it was sticking out of the ground. Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. Hanging vines would look pretty good. I think we're gonna put some here. Just need to get a few painted and I can move them around. I think one of them just went out here in the woods somewhere. I'll find it one day. Actually, that turned out pretty good on its own. I was going to move them, but I actually like where that ended up. It's a vibe. We'll keep it. Just contact shadows. I think I'm actually going to put some mushrooms too. I added some that we're going to use for food. Let me see where I put them. Food or crafting of some sort. I don't remember what he was going to do with it. Maybe... Might be here somewhere. Perhaps. But I don't know where he would have put it. Yeah, there they are. I think we'll use subsurface on them. Perfect. Understandable. I feel like I need a nap. Thank you for dropping in, though. Okay, looks like these are limited right now. So let's put these in the foliage tool. Have a nice nap. Now let's hope they're not scaled to something ridiculous. It's been a long time since I imported these. Line it to like 2 degrees. And let's paint those boys right here. But currently I can't even see them. I don't know if they're just that small. Are they really that small? see. I guess they are pretty small. I'll make them bigger then. Let's make them like 1 to 2.3. Oh yeah, now a bunch of them. Okay. That works. They're small, but they're there. And that is what matters. Let's have a few spawn on this, see how it looks. Did it even do it? Oh, they spawned like over here. That's not ideal. Well, that will work. I'll just come back and manually place some. Okay, so let's make this into a packed level actor. I guess we'll have HLODs. Perfect. I think that came out pretty good. It looks nice. So yeah, most of what I've been planning on today is that kind of thing, like little details. There was a place over here I wanted to put a tent or something. I think it might have been right here where I was looking. So let's smooth this out a little bit, make a spot for a tent. So I think we'll do like a little outcropping of rock here. And put the tent on that. I heard some thunder a bit ago outside. I was really hoping it would get a little more. Then again, the flooding has been pretty bad here in Texas, so I guess avoiding that would be good. Now, let's see, I just need a good flat top at least, rock that I can use. Maybe this. Look at that, shadow reacts. I guess whatever has the most space on top. Try this. Maybe a bit bigger. That might work. Still might be a little bit too small, but let's see. Extend it like that, that might work. Do maybe this one? That should work. Then again, I can't tell, but I think that collision is covering from being able to get in there. So let's give it a bunch of collisions and then remove the ones we don't want. Oh, that actually came out pretty much perfect. I didn't expect that. That works then. But we don't need light maps. We don't need light maps where we're going, boys and gals. Just need a couple of these plants out of here. The one place I will not allow a fern. I think that one might be connected to the landscape material. Oh, why can't I select it? Is this one also connected to it? I think it is. We go and see. I know that, but you know, the fern gods are merciful. I feel like they'll be understanding of my situation here. It's not easy being cheesy. Do a nice little fire pit here. Guess we can have lighting back. If you ask nicely. That actually looks terrible, so we're going to use another one. What about this boy? That will work. I feel like lighting a fire around all the dry needles and stuff is just a horrible idea. But you know, it's fine. I think these might be the only bedrolls I have that we're about to look at. I need to change that. Oh, is that an actual cover? Oh no, it's a bedroll. I know the moss looks kind of weird. I might come back and change it to a rock, but at the same time, I like the moss. We'll put like, probably this. instance all these boys together, and we have a tent. Go. When I have to type that part in, I have to choose. We use a grid-based system called World Partition to load the map and everything on the map. So I have to choose which grid is including this particular actor. I have multiple different grids to load different things. Okay, so in a couple spots I wanted to add some fallen trees that are kind of leaning across the pathway. I think we'll do one over here. And after that, I think we'll probably end the stream, but we'll see. Possibly this one. Depends on if I can make it look good standing up. It's huge, of course, but we are in a giant sequoia forest. Just putting it out there. However, we don't want it sticking out of the ground. Should still be able to walk under that. Oh yeah, that's a nice thought. I think I will. I'm gonna move those, or remove these rocks. I don't think I have a straight dirt material for the landscape. So I'm gonna see if I have some models of piles of dirt, because that would work. Yeah, but I know what you're saying, and I do like the sound of that. So let me see if I have something that looks like piles of dirt. Not quite. Oh, you know what? I think I do have something like that. I'll look in a second. I think I might know where it is. I don't know if they'll look right here, but let's see. Yeah, dirt patches. It's a bit dark though. Almost what I wanted, but not quite. Maybe in these. They do, they do. I always happily will take ideas. If I don't have these already, then I'll probably make some, because I think I could use that in a lot of places. Okay, this looks pretty cool, but this isn't the place to use it. But I'm keeping this in mind because I like it. I'm going to check one more thing. There just might be some in here. Yeah, there's some cool stumps and stuff here, but I think I'm just going to have to make some models for the broken up dirt. From the look of it. Yeah, I think that's what I'll have to do then. Then I'm going to put some more of these around, but I'm going to keep that in mind and come back and do it. Because I like it. We would like to, so hopefully... I mean, as long as we're successful enough, then... We've definitely talked about it. We're definitely going to do our best to get there. I actually need to remind Islander because he's probably forgotten. But I did ask to get a channel in the Discord for people to leave me requests and ideas for the map. Because I would actually really like that. This would be a good spot. Determined based on science that I just did in my brain. There we go. I wanted it to kind of look like it was resting on a branch. I'm definitely making some models though to come back and put torn up ground around them, because that would be awesome. Yeah, I think I'll be doing clearings on the next stream, because I'm just about to end this one in a moment. Just wanted to get a couple of these, because I always liked that look of knocked over trees like this. I think I'll do one more right here, kind of leading off of this hill. Huge ones because giant sequoia. Maybe not that huge. Have it going across to that rock there. Boom. Just like that. Yeah, this is something I've been wanting to do for a little while, but I just hadn't gotten around to it yet. Seemed like every time I thought about it, I had something else I needed to do, and then I forgot. I was there for your first steps, and now we're here. But I guess we'll go ahead and stop here, and I think next time we're going to do more clearings in this area. I meant to work on foliage distribution today, but I think we'll do that next time. But yes, thank you all for dropping in and watching. I'll be back on Thursday, and now we're doing the streams a little bit later in the day, so it should be around the same time this one started. But thank you all for dropping in, and I hope you all have a great day.